What is up, awesome people of the internet? Guys, you know how on this channel we love to talk about what's happening in the world of women's basketball. And I got some great news for y'all. We have witnessed a fantastic finals. Yes, this was a finals of two really good squads, the two best teams in the WNBA the entire season. We saw a lot of defense. We saw a lot of intensity. Yes, we did see some ugly play at times, but overall, this was a fantastic WNBA finals. The best finals that I can honestly remember. Of course, I'm going to say that the 2021 WNBA finals when the Chicago Sky won, I'm going to say that that was the best. However, no, this was actually way better. We saw two overtimes in game one and in game five. We saw games that were decided, by a very narrow margin. The only game that was sort of like wide open was game two. The other games were extremely close, guys. I'm talking a 2-point win, right? I'm talking a 3-point win. I'm talking a 2-point win, and I'm talking another very close win, a 5-point win, right? That's the margin of how much the teams won by, right? Except for game two. Game two was a anomaly, I would say. That was actually a 14-point win by the Liberty. But other than that, we saw a lot of fight, right? We saw a lot of late game heroic plays, and it was all fun to see. And as a women's basketball fan, I loved it. But also, I want to acknowledge that other people loved it too. Because guys, we have seen ratings up the wazoo all year this year. Up the wazoo. Fantastic. Most notably because of the attention that Caitlin Clark has gotten. And it really has, rising tides really has lifted all boats. And I specifically want to talk about the WNBA Finals because we saw the best viewership that we have ever seen on cable, and best viewership that we've seen in 25 years or so. So I want to talk about it. So first we start with game five. Did you know? Game five for the WNBA Finals, which happened on Sunday. So that Sunday, we're in October, that means football Sunday. The game was at 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. A full day of games for the NFL. You have Sunday Night Football, and the WNBA competed. Did the WNBA get NFL numbers? No. But the WNBA got the highest viewership ever on an NFL Sunday. Ever. And what was that viewership? That was 2.15 million viewers on average watch game five. Now, again, this is absolutely fan-freaking-tastic numbers because, again, put it in perspective. You're going against the NFL. And that sucks up a lot of viewership there, and so the fact that people decided 2.15 million people on average decided to watch women's basketball as opposed to the NFL on a Sunday, huge, guys, absolutely huge. We saw a peak audience for game five. That means at one time, the audience, that was 3.3 million viewers. Peak. Phenomenal. Like absolutely phenomenal numbers. Like this is the fourth most viewed WNBA Finals ever across all networks. If you go way back into the early parts of the WNBA, you will see higher numbers, but those numbers were not on cable. Those numbers were on NBC. So it brought a lot more viewership, and also it was because it was when the NBA was on the NBC deal. So that's the thing. But yeah, fourth most viewed finals of all time. And here's some stats for y'all. If we compare this year's finals to last year's finals in terms of ratings, it's up 115%. Wow. That's a lot. 115% is a lot. Also, WNBA Countdown, which is a 30-minute show that happens before the games start. They did WNBA Countdown for the playoffs, and during the playoffs this year, we see WNBA Countdown up 77% versus last year's playoffs. So we saw 15 episodes of WNBA Countdown this year, and 77% more than last year. I'm just saying, overall, interest has risen. And I've talked about this before. I'm going to talk about it again. If you build it, if you organically hype it, if you invest in it, people will come. And that's clearly what has been happening. It's been pretty awesome. It has been pretty awesome. Now, an important thing to know that I want you all to be aware of is that, yes, during this WNBA season for 2024, we did see some games with higher ratings than 2.15, right? There were 4 other games that had more viewership than that this year, right? And all 4, surprise, surprise, featured the Indiana Fever. The WNBA draft also had a higher audience, and the WNBA All-Star Game also had a higher audience. But this is the best finals viewership that we have really seen in a extremely long time. All right. Also, a thing to note, guys, is that if we take a look at all of the games, we take a look at all of the games, right? We see once again how it all sort of funnels together. Game 1, 1.1 million viewers. Game 2, 1.34 million viewers. Game 3, 1.4 million viewers. Game 4, 1.7 million viewers. And Game 5, 2.2 million viewers. You see how that just stacks? It just stacks on stacks on stacks on stacks on stacks. Like it's great to see. It is absolutely great to see. And one thing I also want to note is that, guys, these games were on ESPN. Yes, we've seen some games in the past on ABC, but there was only one game on ABC. That was Game 2. Game 2 was the only game on ABC with 1.34 million. Right, and the fact that we're seeing higher viewership on ESPN as opposed to ABC, where ABC is way more widely available, it says a lot. It absolutely says a lot. And it just continues to show how the game is really growing. And it wasn't just the viewership. It was also the folks buying tickets to games that was up, 17, around 17K for Game 1, 18K for game 2, 19K for Game 3, 19K for Game 4. Game 1 and Game 2 was in New York. Game 3 and Game 4 was in Minnesota. And Game 5, 18K in New York. It's just a lot. Like we're seeing a rise in the interest in women's basketball in the WNBA. I mean, college basketball has had, bigger numbers than this, right? Bigger ratings, and all that stuff. Like if you look at ratings, usually college basketball, is doing better. The bigger games is doing better than the WNBA. But the fact that we are seeing these high numbers, teams, doing their best to compete, and we're seeing people come out and pay their money to actually come and watch those games. It's huge. It is absolutely huge. Did you know that this year there were 32, they call it WNBA television windows, that had over 1 million viewers this season. So that means anytime that the WNBA was on TV, right? 32 times in 2024 where 1 million plus viewers watched the WNBA. That's a record, guys. We have never seen that in the WNBA before. The highest, the second best time that has ever happened was 15. Right? That was the previous record. 15 times in a WNBA season. did the numbers pass 1 million viewers. This happened 32 times, guys. 32 times. The game is growing. I love to see it. I think we're going to continue to see numbers rise into next year, and then it's just going to keep stacking on. And it makes sense that the CBA is like, you know what? We actually want some of that whole card cash. No. Cold hard cash. There we go. That's how you say that phrase. And that's why they opted out the CBA. I will have a video about the CBA pretty soon to just give you an explainer as to what that is and what that means for the future. But I'm just saying, guys, this is fantastic. What a great year. What a great year of women's basketball. Yes. There's still the controversy of the finals, but, it is what it is. The New York Liberty have won their first ever WNBA championship. And yeah, the WNBA is growing. Women's basketball is growing as a whole. College basketball starts very soon. Excited about that. And yeah, I want to hear your thoughts. What do y'all think about the viewership and the attendance for these games? What do y'all think? And also, guys, ticket prices were high. The resale market was booming for these games. Okay, I'm just saying it wasn't like they were all cheapo tickets, right? People was reselling that stuff. But anyway, fantastic numbers. I love it. What do y'all think? Let me know in the comments below. And thank y'all for watching. Until next time, guys. Bye-bye.